Welcome
to Shamba Shape Up.
We have traveled all over East Africa to find hard-working farmers.
We want to celebrate them while giving them the knowledge they need,
so they can adapt and make their farms more productive even while the climate changes.
We want to support them to get better yields and increase their income.
We will see how farmers can benefit from our experts' advice
while learning from each other in so many ways.
Join us on these journeys and share in the farmers' experiences
on the Shamba Shape Up Safari. Shamba Shape Up has been to many parts of the region. Kenya, Uganda.
Welcome
to Shamba Shape Up, Uganda. And Zambia.
Welcome
to Munda Makeover.
As we get into the new planting season, we take a look at what we need to keep in mind before planting a new crop. The heart of the Shamba lies in the soil. Poor soil, poor crops. Good soil, good crops. Simple.
Soil, soil, soil. It's the heart of every farm. In crop farming, the first step to successful farming is healthy soil. How do you know your soil can feed and grow what you want to plant?
Let's join Aggie and the Shamba Shape Up team from Uganda as she talks to Stella, a farmer who needs to get better maize yield.
As a farmer, you are aware of the effects of climate change on our soil. Without healthy soil, we cannot produce enough food to feed our families. First, we need to get the soil tested. So who better to call than the soil doctor, Mr. Etiang Joseph from National Agricultural Research Organization, NARO. A soil test is the single most important step in ensuring that your crops get the best yield possible. It will tell you if you need more nutrients. It will also inform you on what type of fertilizer to use and how much of it to apply. Fortunately, our soil doctor did the test for us last week.
Please tell us why you do not believe in soil test.
Yeah, actually, soil testing is something that has not been talked of. Even when you go to the district offices, wherever you go here, it is unheard of in Ginger. So we always have that belief that our soils are the best, and our soils being the best, why should I incur costs to go and test them?
What makes you say that the soils are good?
When it comes to harvesting, my maize is the best. It has 2 combs. So that is where I get the confidence from.
Why is soil testing important?
Plants need a lot of nutrients in the soil. So when we test the soil, we shall understand whether that soil can improve on the yields of your crops.
My land, as you see it, it is too big.
Yeah.
Do you have to carry the entire land to the lab?
When we come to your farm here, we observe your farm. So we move in your field in different directions. You collect various samples. Okay, then you mix that soil. That is what we call a mixed sample or a composite sample. That is the one we label, that we take to the laboratory. Then the results, we shall help you interpret and tell you this is not enough, this is enough, add this, and your plants will do better. So Stella, these are the results that we got from your field. We sampled the maize area. On that soil sample, we tested about 4 items. We tested the pH, and we found 6.59, and that is within the range, a good one for crop growth. So your pH is optimum range. In other words, it is normal. Then you move to another thing we tested was the nitrogen. For your case, it was very low. 10 is actually below the optimum. It needed to be at least 50 and above.
Okay.
And then we also checked for phosphorus. It is optimum, but doesn't mean that you don't apply. If it is under the optimum, you need to put a halfway of the recommendation of NPK 50 kgs, which the lab gave, to supplement the phosphorus. Phosphorus is important for the crop to have the energy and also root development. Because if the roots are small, then there is no way they can take nutrients. And then the potassium is also important. We tested it and we found that it is also low. Potassium is also required for nutrient uptake to enable the plant to take nutrients properly and also enable the plant to manage the water movement in itself. So if you have low, then you get yields a bit lower than what you expected. So Stella, I would recommend you to get NPK 25-5-5. That is what will help you, and you put 50 kgs of that NPK per acre.
Okay.
How can you measure this? You can use a mineral water top. You remove that and you use it for when you are planting that and cover with soil so that your crop will perform better. If you do that, I believe you will really appreciate.
Maybe I'll give it a try.
Yeah,
It would be nice to try so that you can tell the difference.
I will give it a try.
So, a soil test will tell you what nutrients your soil needs and the right fertilizer to use. But to make sure your soils are healthy, it's always a good idea to make your own compost manure. Let's head back to Kenya and learn all about this with James, a maize and dairy farmer from Kakamega. I've asked Dr. Caroline Kundu, here today representing the Eco Business Fund, to give us some advice. James has already received a supply of compost he bought locally. But from the look of Carol's face, I don't think she's impressed. So, let's find out what makes a good compost.
James, where did you get this manure from?
I bought it from my fellow farmers.
Your fellow farmers. I think it must have been rained on and then they didn't turn it so well. It's also not fully decomposed. Anything that is not fully decomposed still cannot be used because it's likely to have pathogens that will bring crop diseases to the soil. And I don't know, when did you put this one here?
5 days ago.
5 days ago.
Yeah.
You see, you've left it here for that long. Yeah. So the quality is slowly deteriorating because of being exposed to the sunlight. You need to have it under some shade. You need to protect it from loss of nutrients.
Right.
My advice is you can have your own compost so you can save on money.
So is there a place that this compost has to be put specifically, or we can just put it anywhere?
We need to find an appropriate site for the compost to be collected. Yes.
And what are the advantages of having this compost?
The advantage, first of all, is compost is a cheap way of having nutrients to supply to the soil.
Yes.
Because it will not cost you anything if you make your own. Number two is that compost improves on soil water holding capacity because you know water is very necessary for crops.
Yes.
I think this place is ideal for us to have the compost. First of all, it's flat, and then it's a little bit shaded from the sun, so there will be no loss into the atmosphere, and is close to the animal place where he can bring in his material.
All right. Caris?
So Caris, we are going to make 3 compartments of 2 meters long each, so that makes 6 meters in length, and then the width is 1.5 meters. The height should be 1.5 meters.
All right, so let's give Caris some space to do his thing.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so here is the wood and we're ready to start. Caris is building a composter with 3 sections. The reason for this is that it takes 3 to 4 months to produce compost. So, with 3 sections, there'll always be compost ready for use throughout the year. It's vital the composter has a roof. This keeps out direct sunlight. Sunlight kills the microbes that help break down the compost. To make compost, fill the first section with dry leaves and other residue from the farm. Add slurry, urine, and dung from your cows or any other livestock. You can also add ash from the kitchen fire and organic matter such as kitchen waste. Do not put in any metal, plastics, or glass, as these will not break down. Caris is building an aerobic composter. This kind of composter needs to be turned every week. It's also good to add water when doing this. This lets the compost rot well and become rich in nutrients. After 1 month, do not add any more dry matter to your first heap. Keep turning and adding water, and the compost will be ready to use in 3 months. If you have more dry matter, add it to the second section and follow the same steps. It's important to stop adding dry matter after 1 month so that you don't interfere with the rotting process. So remember, to make compost, mix together farm residue, urine and dung from your cows, and organic matter such as kitchen waste. Ash from the fire is good too. Turn every week, adding a small amount of water. And in 3 months, the compost is ready to use. Generally, 1 acre of land needs around 2 tons of compost. Check your soil test to know how much you need. Remember, farmers, making your own compost is a smart way of farming. It adds nutrients to your soil for free. Collect all the waste from your kitchen, urine and dung from your cows, and broadleaves from around the shamba. Compost also helps keep water in your soil.
But even as you add compost to your soils, you need to protect these nutrients. How do we do this? Don't go away.
See you after the break.
Welcome back to Shamba Shape Up. We are learning all about how to enrich our soils. But before we go on, let's check on the week's weather.
Welcome to the Shamba Shape Up Farming News for Kenya. Today, we're going to have another look at Kenya's seasonal forecast for the March to May long rains. We expect more rains than usual in many parts of Kenya compared to the past years. When making such a forecast, experts look at how much rains we've been getting in the past years. They then predict if the coming season will have more rain, less rain, or the same amount of rain as in the past years for each region. Depending on the crop variety, maize needs between 450 to 800 millimeters of rains to do well. Beans and cabbage need 300 to 500 millimeters of rains. Sorghum needs 200 to 500 millimeters of rains. Potatoes need 850 to 1,400 millimeters of rains. Bracharia needs 1,000 millimeters of rains. Northwestern counties, including Turkana and Samburu, are likely to get above normal rains spread across the end of March until the end of April. The total rains they will get here will be above 160 millimeters. The northeastern region expects to get rainfall above 160 millimeters as well. This includes Marsabit, Mandera, Wajir, Isiolo, and Garissa. If you're in this region, it's a good idea to plant common grasses such as African foxtail and Maasai love grass in the bare grazing areas. This way, your livestock will have enough feed in the coming dry season. Southeastern counties, including Kitui, Makueni, Machakos, Taita Taveta, and Kajiado, are likely to have more total rains compared to the past years. Their rains will fall between the end of March all the way through to mid-May. Total rains will be above 200 millimeters. Farmer, repair your soil conservation structures like terraces so that they can hold more water in the soil and ensure your soil is not easily carried away. Coastal counties will see normal levels of rains spread evenly across the end of March until June. This includes the counties of Lamu, Tana River, Kilifi, Mombasa, and Kwale. The total rain expected in this period is 250 millimeters. Now is the time to plant your crops in these counties to make sure you make the best use of the rainwater. Central Kenya will see high levels of rain spread throughout the season, amounting to over 400 millimeters. The rain here will be more than the last years. This spans across Nyandarua, Nyeri, Kirinyaga, Murang'a and Meru, Tharaka Nithi, Embu, as well as Nairobi and Kiambu. The Rift Valley, including the counties of West Pokot, Uasin Gishu, Nandi, Kericho, Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, Bomet, Nakuru, and Narok, will also get higher than normal amount of rains in this season. Farmers, do a soil test, get the recommended fertilizers and certified seeds, as now is the best time to plant. Western and Nyanza, rainfall which started in February will continue throughout the season and is expected to be above average. The total rain here will be around 750 millimeters. This covers the areas of Busia, Kakamega, Bungoma, Vihiga, Siaya, Homa Bay, Nyamira, Kisii, and Migori. Farmers, if you have already planted your crops, make sure you scout your farm for pests and diseases and control them as soon as possible. If you would like more information and a very detailed weather forecast for your area, get in touch with Shamba. Call 0711 082 606. I am Brenda. See you next week on the Shamba Shape Up Farming News for Kenya.
One of the most important assets to a farmer is healthy soils.
We've learned all about soil testing and how to make good quality compost.
Now it's time to go to Zambia and join up with Kachenana and her team to learn all about minimum tillage, the Zambian way.
I'm going to find out more about groundnut production and why they're such a good choice for our Zambian farmers. Let's go and meet our experts.
He's Luke Lungu from Komako, and he's going to focus on land preparation.
Before we talk about his farm, let me know, what are the benefits of groundnut farming?
By nature, groundnuts have got the ability to fix nitrogen back into the soil, being in the family of legumes. Then groundnuts is a good source of income.
Okay.
And the last one, groundnuts are easy to grow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Chirwa, you've been farming groundnuts for some time. When you look at what you put in, how much did you get out?
The seed was 50 kg.
How many bags did you get out?
15 bags shelled, then plus 30 unshelled.
Mr. Luca,
yes,
can you tell us, is this a good outcome or can we do more?
It was good.
Can we say bumper harvest?
Would say almost bumper harvest.
Almost a bumper harvest.
Yes. For him to have a bumper harvest, the first cardinal thing that he needs to work on is his land preparation.
Okay.
Yeah.
When is he supposed to start preparing his land?
Immediately after he has harvested his maize, then he can start land preparation.
So let's see how to do it. Some of Standwell's fellow farmers are here to help us. After all, many hands make light work.
So I would need the pegs and then the measuring tapes and the rope.
Okay. There you go.
Thank you very much. We have our rope tied to one of the pegs.
Use a rope to make sure you plant in a straight line. This makes weeding easier and leaves the soil between undisturbed.
Okay, just like that. We are going to now mark the area where we are going to make our rip line.
Okay.
Because it's the first point, so we need to mark it. Make sure that
just on the side.
Yeah.
Okay, this is simple enough.
Our rip line is supposed to be 15 centimeters deep.
Okay.
Why? Because at 7 to 8 centimeters, there's what we call a hard pan.
Okay.
So if you don't break that, still more, even if water is collected, your crops will not have enough water during dry spells.
So how do you know that this is actually 15 centimeters?
Well, it's very easy. Dip your hand in the rip line, then check. If the line reaches here, it means it's 15 centimeters.
When the first row is finished, move the line 45 centimeters to dig the remaining rip lines.
Yeah, so now that we are done making our rip lines.
Yes, now we're going to the next part, which is feeding the land with Gliricidia.
Yes.
So we leave the stalks on the trees, huh?
Yeah, we just
get
the
leaves.
Yeah.
Okay, this is nice.
When you want to apply Gliricidia leaves,
right,
you need to have a full application. I'll apply like this.
Okay.
So now, after applying our leaves, we need now to do our backfeeding. What we want here is all the nitrogen, the potassium, the phosphorus in the green Gliricidia to be incorporated with the soil. Because if you leave this open, it means you lose all the nutrients that are here. Then when we do this, it means we are done.
Oh.
I can go sleep and wait for the rains to come.
Okay.
But applying of the leaves should be done a month or 3 weeks or a month before planting.
Saves you money, right?
Yeah.
All this sounds good, but let's get down to the details. Let's break it down.
By digging a rip line only where he's planting, Stanwell will keep the moisture in the soil. So important when the rains are unreliable.
Well, like you have seen, early land preparation will save you time, will save you money. It is less labor intensive and will protect your fields. And now that we've got some extra time, perhaps we can have some munkoyo, gentlemen?
Definitely.
All right. See you.
Now, while our Zambian team enjoys some munkoyo, which is fermented maize porridge, let's come back home and see another way of preparing our shamba for planting while protecting the nutrients in the soil.
For this, let's go to Karo's Shamba in Makueni. So Eric,
Yes.
what is conservation agriculture? Let's help our farmer.
Yeah, simply conservation agriculture is a way of farming where you observe three main principles. And this is minimum soil disturbance, number 2, crop rotation, and number 3, residue retention.
Okay, and today we are going to focus on the first principle, minimal soil disturbance.
Yeah.
What is minimum soil disturbance?
Yeah, we advocate for just opening of the soil where you're going to plant the seed, where you're going to apply the manure and the fertilizer. For the big farmers, we use mechanized ripper. For the small scale farmers, we use hand hoe. And then third way of doing it is using the animal draft power, a ripper which is pulled by oxen.
Wow. Yeah. Caro, what do you use in your shamba?
I do use my bulls.
Ah, you have bulls?
Yes.
And what kind of plow do you use?
Disc plow.
Disc plow.
Yes.
Do you have something better, Eric?
Yes, we have reapers.
Do you know about the ripper?
No, I don't know.
Oh, you're in luck.
That's why I'm here.
Let's go see the ripper.
Let's go and see it.
For Caro, as she already uses oxen-drawn plow, we recommend the ripper plow. And Eric has brought one to show us. He is going to compare it with the disc plow Caro usually uses. So Caro,
yes,
which one here do you use?
This is my djembe.
Ah, this is the one.
Yes.
So what's the disadvantage of using it?
When we are talking about minimum soil disturbance, this is disturbing the soil maximally.
Stunning it.
Yes. 2, we can't achieve the desired depth which you want.
Yes.
And the penetration of the roots of your plant won't go deeper because of the hard pan.
The hard pan lies around 15 centimeters below the surface of the soil. It is formed by repeated plowing of the land, compacting the soil into a hard layer. This forms a barrier to plant roots. So, a ripper can be set to plow deeper into the soil compared to the disc plow and break the hard pan, allowing the plant roots to reach moisture and nutrients deeper down in the soil.
This is the ripper we are talking about. This point helps us in breaking the hard pan. This is just the body and these are the wings, you see, helping in opening the
soil.
Yeah. Then here we have a depth wheel. This is the wheel which determines the depth you want to achieve. We advise our farmers to achieve at least 15 to 20 centimeters depth. Big biro pen is 15 centimeters or 6 inches in other words. We can have a demonstration here to see if we can achieve the depth. You see? This is slightly...
So, a ripper can be set to plow deeper into the soil compared to the disc plow and breaks the hard pan, allowing the plant roots to reach moisture and the nutrients deeper down in the soil. Eric's colleagues, Josephat and Caro's parents, John and Stella, are going to demonstrate for us. As we can see, it's not only the plow that's better, the yoke is too. Unlike the traditional yoke used in the disc plow, this yoke is designed to keep the cows the exact distance apart so that it's easier to space the planting lines.
This one is just one rip line, come back with another rip line, you have achieved your next precisely.
In this area, the rip lines should be 90 centimeters apart. Wow, that's amazing. Look at how it's working.
I'm very impressed.
Normally, how long does it take you to plow this particular piece of land?
2 to 3 hours.
We are going to take here between 30 to 35 minutes.
That's quick.
Yes.
Okay, now, when you're using the ripper, What other advantage does it have to the farmer, especially when it comes to water conservation?
Yeah, you see, we've said that we are just opening where we are going to put your fertilizer, your manure, and your seeds. So the advantage is that everything will be collected in that same point. So you will be guaranteed your crops will 100% utilize the resources available. Then, above that, when it rains, all water comes into the rape lines. So you are so sure your plants will get enough water to take them through production. Yeah. You save of almost 75% of your time, energy, and cost. And above all, we are going now to improve our yield. Between 30-40% increase of yield in the first implementation of conservation agriculture.
That's huge.
Yeah, but with the time, it increases and increases.
Most of all, more profit.
More profit, exactly.
So, farmers, these are some of the tips to follow to ensure your soil is healthy. Remember, improving and protecting your soils will help you get more harvest, which means more money for your farmer.
Join us next week for another episode of Shamba Shepa.